Yo, what is up? Which Clan Wars reward tank should you pick if you qualify to get one? Well, the first one you should pick is the 907. If you already got that, then pick the VK, which is the other tank that you would probably use quite often in Clan Wars. But if you already got both their tanks and you can't pick the chieftain anyway, this should be the tank you should pick out. This is third in line, the T95E6. We are in steps, North Spawn, and Demolidor X from Relic is going to demonstrate to us how you play this tank full tilt. Now there is no better matchmaking up here. 2 tier 10s, the rest tier 8s. In this video we are going to go through the stats of this tank, compare it to your other favorite tier 10 tanks, and I'll tell you why you should pick this tank out of the other tier 10 reward tanks out there for you to choose from. Yeah, let's go straight into the stats. Of course, this is a reward tank, not a premium tank. You don't get any kind of credit bonuses when you play this tank. You will probably burn a lot of credits because you need to fire premium shells a lot of the times when you're fighting other tier 10 tanks that are heavily armored. Of course, this is a medium tank, and if I'm going to compare this to any other tank out there in the tier 10 tech tree, I'm going to say this is something like an STB1. Of course, the STB1 you can grind, you can research it. This you can't, you have to earn it. And I'm going to compare it against the 907 as well. Why? Because the 907, of course, is the most dominant, arguably the most dominant tier 10 medium tank out there. If you can get a 907, you want a 907. You use it in random battles, you use it in advances, you use it in strongholds, you use it in Clan Wars global map. It is by far the most important tank. But the T95E6 is the most fun random battle tank other than the 907. I mean, when you're comparing with all the reward tanks, I mean, this tank will by far be much more fun and exciting than a 121B or an M60 or a Carro Combattimento for that matter. One of the redeeming qualities of this tank is the damage output of this tank. The DPM on this tank is 3,129, more DPM than an Object 907. Why? Because it has a 400 alpha gun, while the 907 does 320. The STB1 in comparison does 360 damage per shot. Quite a punchy gun. But when you play the T95E6, a lot of people are surprised. 400 alpha damage on this gun, that's pretty good, to be honest with you. And what else? You get 258 stock penetration on this gun with the AP shells, just like an STB. The 907 gets a little bit more penetration, 264, but 258 penetration on the standard shells isn't bad at all. It is very useful. In fact, you can get away with shooting AP shells all the time if you wanted to, and then, you know, tap the 2 key when you really need to penetrate heavy tanks frontally. Of course, the premium shells on this tank is heat, and the penetration is 340, which is pretty much standard like all other tier 10 tanks. Besides that, you have the speed of this tank, 56 kilometers an hour going forward. It is faster than a 907, faster than an STB1, which is only 50 kilometers an hour. The power to weight ratio is 18.33 versus 19.72 on the 907 and 25.40 in the STB1. So in terms of agility, it is a little bit more agile than 907, but no match for an STB1 in terms of agility. Left, right, wiggle, wiggle. STB1 is slightly better in that sense. Hull armor 114 frontally, no big deal, nothing to shout about. But turret armor, you've got a bit of turret armor going on here. 342 millimeters frontally, and it's sloped. So if you shoot it from the turret from the front, it's pretty hard to penetrate this tank. Of course, it's got that huge tumor on the top of the turret, the commander's hatch or the machine gun hatch. That is pretty easy to hit, so you need to keep your tank moving, you need to keep wiggling so that that little tumor is difficult for your enemies to shoot at. Again, frontal turret armor 342 millimeters, it's a lot better than an Object 907, which is 228, STB1 222, and those tanks already have pretty good turret armors. But compared to the T95E6, even better turret armor. Of course, the only downside is that machine gun port or commander's hatch or tumor, yeah, or cupola. It is huge and very hard to miss, to be honest with you. The reload time we have on this tank is 7.67 seconds. Significantly slower than a 907. 907 6.23 seconds, more than 1 second faster than the T95E6, of course. But again, you are only getting 320 damage on a 907. You're getting 400 alpha damage on an E6, which is why this thing is very formidable in terms of gun performance. The aim time as well, 1.92 seconds, exactly the same as a 907 and an STB. The dispersion value 0.36. Now 0.36 isn't bad at all. Once you have all your DIA, food and all that, you can get it probably down to 3.4, 3.3 dispersion. 907 stock dispersion is 0.35 STB as well. So they are just slightly better in terms of gun handling. STB of course has a lot better moving dispersions, which is 0.09 versus the T95E6, which is 0.12, exactly the same as the 907, also 0.12 moving dispersions. So in terms of gun handling, it's kind of very similar to 907s and STB. The only advantage here is STB moving will shoot a bit more accurate than an E6 or a 907, but again, you're getting 400 alpha damage here. That's the main the main selling point of the T95E6. 400 alpha damage is 80 more alpha than a 907. It's a lot of difference there. Yeah, so that's what I'm gonna go with there. In terms of the forward speed, we already spoke about it, right? A lot more speed than 907 or the STB1. Let's move on with the gun depression at 9 degrees. Looking down, 9 degrees of gun depression. Of course, the 907 only has 5. STB with the suspension and the air-on transformer thing gives you 14 degrees of gun depression. So gun depression you're going to lose to an STB1, but 9 degrees is plenty workable, especially on terrain, on slopes. It is really good in my opinion. Also, you have a bit of view range. The view range is 10 meters better than STB or 907. You are talking 410 meters of view range is pretty good. If you decide to run optics on this tank, you can spot for yourself and deal damage for yourself. This tank is all about using your mobility and sniping from a medium to close distance. Because of that dispersion, sniping from a distance isn't all the greatest. You want to be in medium distances if you can, and if you land your shots, 400 alpha damage is really good. Now you look at our friend here, he's already almost run out of ammo, and that is one of the bad points of this tank. You don't have enough ammo, only 36 shells that you carry in this tank. 907 carries 45, STB carries 50, so you can't really carry a lot of HE shells and spam HE. Our friend here only carries 2 HE shells, which is the correct move on this tank. You want to carry as little HE shells as possible, because a lot of times you're gonna run out of shells, especially if you're going to do 10k damage, which is exactly what our friend here is going for right now. 10k damage. This is going to be a big game for him. If you are considering what tanks to get, because you already have the 907 or you already have the VK, I would suggest pick this tank over any other tank that you can choose. Not the 121B, not the M60, not the Carro Combattimento. This is the beast you want to go for. Congratulations to our friend Demolidor from Relic. 10,216 damage. That is a huge game. Obviously he's lost a bunch of credits, lost 54,000 credits, and had some 17,000 credits in his locker. Ace tanker, top gun, damage dealer, blah blah blah, you know, huge game. Hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you on the next one. Bye bye.